What is Dylan hiding? We are receiving many conflicting statements regarding her whereabouts that night, her reasons for not calling 911, and many more suspicious activities. Today we're going to examine Dylan once again.
Hello?
Thank you for calling. Please leave a message.
I don't know why you can't answer any of my calls or texts. I think it's pretty fucked up. You shouldn't leave your windows open, by the way. I left you a surprise on the kitchen table.
Gap in time that's missing from the moment a roommate saw the suspected killer to the moment 911 was actually called. That's when she said she went back into her bedroom and locked the door. But it wasn't until noon the next day, a full 8 hours later, that this roommate says she called friends over to the house to report a roommate was unconscious and not waking up. That's when 911 was called.
Yeah, definitely a little bit. I still think there's a lot of answers that I would like. So until I get those, I think I still am going to be a little hung up on this.
It didn't appear that there was any forced entry to the home.
And so it's like not normal behavior.
That claim that Morteson was hooking up with Brian Koberger and they were caught on some surveillance footage. What do you guys think?
Bethany never ever emerged from the basement room. Like, she never came upstairs. She left the home and was outside in the chaos in the front of the house, but never did go to that second floor, never did see the carnage. She wasn't part of the discovery of the bodies. She was the only one living in the basement at that point. Dylan, the other surviving roommate, you well know now, was on the second floor, had the room across from the kitchen, opened the door, peeked out and saw who she says looked like Brian Koberger with the bushy eyebrows, saw that male all clad in black with a black mask walking out.
It's 9:10. Guys, can anybody drop me class? I'm fucking late for my meeting. I'm not supposed to be doing 10 minutes ago.
Dylan is one out of the 2 surviving roommates in the Idaho murder home that took place late last year. She originally stated that she was sleeping.
Possibility being explored is that the students were all sleeping when...
Then she stated that she saw the masked killer leaving the home and overheard him telling his victims, "I'm going to help you," before stabbing them to death.
Dylan peeks out of her bedroom but doesn't see anything. Then she hears what sounds like crying coming from Xana's room. So she looks out of her bedroom again, and that is when she hears a man saying something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you," and we presume that man was the killer.
Then, as she was checking her bedroom door for the 3rd time due to the loud noises, she stated that she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. As she stood standing in front of her bedroom door in a frozen shock phase, she stated that the man had bushy eyebrows and walked right past her towards the sliding glass door of the home. Now, people are raising questions and casting doubt on her strange behavior that night. She saw a clad figure in black clothing, but didn't state the skin tone, but remembered the most detailed description of bushy eyebrows. If the killer had a lighter skin complexion, and the house was pitch black that night, wouldn't you be able to notice the skin tone first rather than the black bushy eyebrows? Now, don't rewind this video. Be honest, what's the first feature you noticed about that person? When was the last time anyone actually noticed someone's eyebrows? In fact, many psychologists stated that the eyes are the first facial features people notice in other people. Is it possible to notice someone's eyes that close in proximity without them noticing you? We are talking about an entryway of this size and a man who just killed 4 people and possibly on the hunt for more. After ISP investigated the murder home, they found a single latent footprint off a Van-style shoe right outside of Dylan's door. However, when police searched Brian's home, they did not find any Van-style shoes. 8 hours after the murder, a 911 call was made. Originally, it was stated that one of the roommates called 911, and people stated that the reason for the 8-hour delay was due to Dylan's fear and frozen shock state.
I just want to remind everyone that the affidavit that we have access to is redacted, and we don't know everything that happened. I don't think it's okay to go after the surviving roommate and why didn't she call 911? We don't know that. We don't know what happened. That poor child could have passed out, gone into a complete state of shock, convulsed. We don't know. Please stop coming for that poor girl.
However, new information was released that an unknown friend of murder victim Ethan Chapin casually found his body and even went as far as to check his pulse. Once he realized that Ethan was dead, he then decided to dial 911. This unknown person used Dylan's phone to contact the police. There are a bunch of things wrong with this scenario. The police stated that this was the bloodiest scene that they have ever witnessed in their entire career. So why would this unknown person check Ethan's pulse? Especially when there was a strong smell of blood inside of the home, and there was even blood oozing through the walls on the outside of the home. Also, who called the unknown person to the home? That means that the roommates didn't call 911 first. What are they actually hiding in this case? Ethan's siblings were also called over to the home according to sources. Ethan's sister-in-law stated that Dylan needs to explain herself, as she is also suspicious of Dylan's behavior that night. Also, if the unknown person found Ethan and Xana on the bed, who moved their body? Sources stated that Ethan's body was actually in the doorway with a slash to the neck, and Xana's body was on the bed with multiple defensive wounds on her hands. Sources also stated that Dylan even went as far as to yell outside of her bedroom door because of the loud noises, telling her roommates to calm down while the murder was taking place.
She could hear some noises up on the third floor, thought it was maybe, Kaylee playing with the dog Murphy, didn't think a lot more than that. But ultimately, a few moments later, she heard a lot of noises. She opened her door and effectively kind of yelled out to her roommates, calm down, like cut it out, keep it down. You guys are being loud, I'm trying to sleep, it's late. Thinking that there were roommates horsing around. That perhaps all that noise that she was hearing was just them, being boisterous and still in party mode. It was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So she then closed her door and went back to bed, but within minutes perhaps sort of roused again by noise, opens the door again, was going to say something again to the effect of, keep it down already, it's the middle of the night, and that's when she sees the figure coming towards her. Now, this has been a big bone of contention for a lot of people. Why, if you saw some shadowy, terrifying figure walking towards you, would you just close your door and go back to bed and not call the police? And the characterization to the source who spoke directly with her after the murders is that she didn't think that figure was anything other than just part of the horsing around. Maybe one of the partiers, maybe somebody who was a friend of one of the other roommates that was making all the noise. But it, startled her nonetheless to see a man in the middle of the night, dark.
Many people are stating that Dylan's reasons for not calling the police is due to fear.
She is not to blame for anything.
But if Ethan's body was moved and they called people over before calling the police, how afraid was she? Why didn't Dylan and Bethany call the police that night? What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that she was actually afraid, or is this all a setup? Get in the comment box below. Let me know what you guys think. Casper West here, signing out.